in 2023, the institution and convened a task force, and we were charged with doing an environmental scan here at Iowa State to see who else was doing micro-credentials in kind of a siloed, rogue kind of way. And a result of that task force was the creation of my current role. It was really my charge to create a more centralized approach to ensure we have a consistent user experience, that we have high quality. When Iowa State's name is on something, we have a high brand and trust that we need to uphold. The biggest part of that phase is understanding your why. And for us, it was about we want to be able to recognize what our learners know and can do that are aligning with current workforce needs, right? As we know, things are pivoting so quickly. Programs of study have a really hard time shifting and adapting to needs that are happening within 24 hours. So we found micro-credentials to be a way to address that. It was more about finding what are we already doing on campus in co-curricular spaces, high impact practices that is going unrecognizable. Our students are learning valuable skills, but it's not on the transcript necessarily unless it's a requirement. And so that's what our main focus was, is to ensure that we are providing recognition and verified evidence of skills of what our students are learning both in and outside of the classroom. In terms of principles or guiding factors too, our micro-credentials was really, we need to ensure that what we're developing are in-demand skills, right? So that we are seeing evidence and need. Our employers are telling us, or research or stats are telling us that these are the skills needed in the workforce right now. And then to be competency-based, right? So skills that are specific, highly focused, and then to have quality assessments attached to them. It has to have some verification, evidence, artifacts attached to the micro-credentials because, again, we have a high level of trust and brand that's needed. And so we wanted to maintain that. In my previous role, I was an assistant director in a business career services where I led a leadership program and charged with trying to get more engagement with learners. Inherited that program with about 15 students. And by the time I left in 2024, they had about over 130. And so I saw firsthand the power and value of providing digital credentials and verified learning and skills to students, and their competitive nature of wanting to attain more, share more. The badging is a critical component, especially in this day and age, meaning the employment landscape is quite complicated and challenging right now. And so those badges really are used as a differentiator. I used to share this with my students, like, look around the room, everybody in here is earning the same degree. What's going to set you apart? And we're finding that a collection of degree and digital badges that share their story based on their interests or their career aspirations is really what's going to differentiate our learners. We went through a robust RFP process. We identified key non-negotiables, including cost, functionality, the ease or the visual appeal to a learner. The analytics and communication portion is was going to be important to us. And then selfishly, I want to say the support, right? I don't know what I don't know. So having that partnership to help make sure I'm on track, this is right, I'm thinking through this, appropriately and accurately, was extremely helpful. In addition, Credible has been great with connecting me with other peer institutions. I have great partnerships now across several that I feel like I can reach out and garner some insight based on what their experience is. But also looking to really grow this program, we wanted to make sure that the platform could grow with us. We didn't want to be stuck into one space that we couldn't expand. And so some of the features like having a Workday integration was important to us to scale when we're ready for that. One thing that stood out to the RFP team was the communication side of the house, having email campaigns. So I set these campaigns that just kind of go on their own at time of a student earning a badge, they get a customized email from Iowa State that congratulates them and shares them next steps on what they can do now with their badge. And then should we have students that maybe didn't click on their badge to receive it or accept it, then there's a secondary email that goes out and says, hey, don't forget, this is waiting for you, showcase it. And then certainly what I'm loving right now is starting to collect real employment outcomes on our badges that are being awarded. I think where the real value is going to come is when we start to see that students are acquiring internships more, or an increase in earning those internships, or post-grad employment opportunities. And the analytics, oh my gosh, I can't forget to talk about that. So I do love the analytics page. So I can go on a high-level look and see to date how many microcredentials do we have, how many have been awarded. I can go quite granular and look at a specific badge and see the names, and then I can see where they're sharing these. So now I understand the platforms that are most important to market on, because that's where our students are going. So pathways, although not a requirement, highly recommended within our initiative. We don't want to be in the game of one and done micro-credentials, right? We want to engage them and want to inspire them to either expand a level of skill or grow in mastery of a skill. So we can have linear pathways or we can have vertical pathways. And for learners, they have so many things going on, right? And what I can resonate with them is that I'm a visual learner. So when I see a path in front of me and it shows what I have left to do, it keeps me on task, right? So it's persisting these learners to want to go on to earn more, and what could it get me? And here's a concise map for how to do that. So I like that it's that visual piece for the learner. At any time they can go in and see where they're at on the pathway. What else do I need to do to complete that? And then hopefully be inspired to pursue additional pathways or additional micro-credentials. We love the customization aspect. Like, some learners don't want to learn everything about a particular thing, but because they're pursuing specific roles or they have a personal professional interest in developing a certain skill, they can pick and choose. And when they get to do that, they're more engaged instead of being a directive of you have to do this and you have to do that, but rather they have some autonomy to be able to choose what to pursue based on their interests and what they're willing to invest their time in.